Hello my fellow Homo sapiens. You can now join my channel as a member to get exclusive perks like early access to videos, private community posts, and more. You can also now use super features for priority response from me. I also have a Patreon page that I put extra content on, including reactions, sins, Reddit stories, and more. If you want to fly yourself even deeper into the endless void of internet content, I've got you covered.
Yeah, pull up in low riders, I'm attacking Grizzy. Bitch, I'm feeling royal out in Kansas City. Drummers in the trunk and I ain't talking instrumentals. Look, I gotta keep it ready, cause they wanna get me. Yeah, diamonds hit a switch, I turn my wrist and it's on fire. When I saw they listen, that attention is a prize. Got my shit in order, I don't know, are you surprised? I might take a jet because I wanna switch the line. That's all my past and now my future stay alive. I just stood on that so they can see it when I smile. I'm on 10 to the end, I don't keep this shit inside. 10 it to myself and I'm not worried about my pride, yeah. I ain't playing, bitch, I'm hopping plane to plane. Every time I hit your city, you gon' wish I never came. Cause I'm ready, turn their heads and all these bitches that you claim. Switching sides like it's that, but I'm not even in the game, yeah.
Sometimes these gods have children with humans, called half-bloods.
And Voldemort hates those assholes.
Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
So with this insane kind of accuracy at whatever invisible distance this is, why not just throw multiple treetops?
What the hell does accuracy have to do with the number of projectiles being thrown? Seriously, he tries to justify this sin by using the accuracy when that has literally nothing to do with how many treetops can be thrown at once.
Zeus has the power to turn his dying daughter into a tree, just not revive her as a normal living half-blood princess.
Yes, thank you for explaining what's happening on screen. I don't know why you counted it as a sin, but cool beans, I guess.
Gift. To ensure no one in Camp Half-Blood would die the same way.
So Chekhov thrown in the air through the woods as potential causes of death. All other causes of death are still in play.
Oh, come on. You knew he meant being killed by hostile forces on the way into camp, and the tree provides a shield against such forces entering campgrounds.
So you didn't want to put a protective barrier around the camp sooner than this? Zeus, damn it.
The Greek gods are not perfect. They make mistakes all the time. This is an example of Zeus realizing his mistake and fixing it.
Alexandra Daddario is so hot she makes my body hurt cliché.
I agree that you having a boner is a cliché, so 10 sins are granted.
Like Stanley Tucci, even though he's in everything. So, Mr. Tucci, would you like to do a sins video? We can't be any more of an asshole than Michael Bay is.
Everything wrong with Percy Jackson's Sea of Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. Stanley Tucci is great.
Pierce Brosnan said, "F this shit," and they got Rupert from Buffy the Vampire Slayer to take over.
Jeremy makes a pop culture.
Zeus can play practical jokes like this, but can't save his daughter when she's fighting monsters.
Zeus has limited powers and also limited knowledge. He's neither omnipotent nor omniscient. I don't know what you're not understanding.
You recovered Ares' stolen chariot.
That was Clarice.
Okay, what about the fall tournament? You own that sucker.
Somehow Percy's best friend doesn't remember that Percy didn't do these things.
Yeah, that's not a sin. That's a friend being a friend. I'm not surprised Jeremy doesn't know what it's like to have a friend, but it's still a sin.
Why are there ready-made glasses of juice here? So that one could fall over and the filmmakers could make the point that something huge was coming?
Or maybe because this is where the campers eat, and they're currently having a meal?
How did this mechanical-ass bowl smell like a regular-ass bowl to Tyson a minute ago?
We don't know how, and that doesn't matter to the story, does it? All we know is that it does smell like a regular bowl to Tyson. We don't need to know why.
Magic.
We have to find his weak spot.
Because this is like playing the old video game Altered Beast.
Jeremy makes a pop.
Also, wasn't Percy in the middle of the fire circle with the bull a minute ago? He even drew his weapon and everything. How did he end up here?
He wasn't able to take down the bull, so he had to escape instead. Wait, that wasn't obvious to you? How?
Mechanical-ass bull is distracted by normal-ass bull things.
Jeremy points things out on the screen, cliché.
Why didn't you just do this in the first place? Hell, the guy's fireproof and everything. He could have saved the whole village, but decided to wait until it was dramatic.
Both of these sins rely on an assumption that Tyson not only knew he could do all of this shit beforehand, but also that he had the opportunity to do so before now. And I'm telling you right now, that's bullshit.
This motherfucker is stupid.
Yeah, it's a bull. What did you expect, Tony Stark to be remotely piloting the damn thing?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Also, Mechanical Bull was created by the same dumbasses who built the Death Star.
Jeremy makes a...
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're pretty spectacular. Oh, you were making an exclamation and then putting a twist on it. Never mind.
Jeremy has a boner.
Zeus just doesn't have the power to keep his daughter alive, even in tree form.
Jeremy points things out on the screen, cliché.
Look like the bull in.
It looked like the bull completely shattered the barrier, rather than being let in, but sure. Let's stick to that inaccurate account of the events.
Does Jeremy not understand that Luke poisoning the tree and setting the bull loose counts as letting the bull in? How does he not get that? It seems like something even children would understand. Hold on, I need to bring in some help for this sin. Where's the oracle at? No, not the cool oracle from Delphi, the lame one in my basement.
This Showtown, I'm only in it for the night though. I'm trying to feel right though. So damn, what you think about a drink? Mix it with a little bit of Sprite though.
Hey, Oracle, why is Jeremy from Cinemasins so stupid?
So I guess I smoke.
Jeremy has a mind very similar to Drax in the sense that he takes everything literally and at face value. Wait, so Jeremy's an alien? No, I'm just saying he has subhuman intelligence. Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Thanks, Oracle. Whenever you get a chance, could you get me some more pre-rolls? I said thanks, Oracle. You're done. You can go take a nap now. Jesus.
Come back down, we'll talk some more. Assuming you're still sane, that is.
Or I could just tell you this easy-to-remember prophecy myself and spare you the possible insanity.
Jeremy thinks that getting information secondhand is as good or better than getting it directly from the source, which is especially dumb when we're dealing with literal magic.
They destroyed Coronis and banished his remains to the depths of Tartarus.
Olympian gods took no more precautions than the people who buried Parallax.
Jeremy makes
Only one half-blood child of the three eldest gods can defeat him.
Because reasons.
It's called a prophecy, Jeremy. It's all a bunch of magic and supernatural powers. Why are you sitting there pondering the reasons behind it? Let me spell it out for you. Magic.
You are the only living half-blood heir of Zeus, Hades, or Poseidon. Prophecy could refer only to you.
And because I'm sticking to this arbitrary rule that half-blood has to mean half-human in every context no matter what, we won't even bother to bring up the Cyclops dude.
Thank you for spelling out the point, my guy. They make the mistake of not including Tyson because he's not half-human. That's not a mistake of the film, it's a mistake of the characters within the film.
I'm not going with the Cyclops.
Let me guess, the monsters we saw at the beginning of the movie that killed Zeus's daughter were Cyclopes, and she mistrusts Tyson because of that thing that happened 10 or so years ago? But that'll be some huge reveal later, I guess.
I love how he says all of this and then adds a sin without bothering to give the slightest explanation as to why it's a sin. Seriously, why does any of this count as a mistake of the film? If you can't explain your reasoning, then I can't accept your conclusion.
It makes the mystical look normal.
This seems made up so that Tyson could have two eyes and they could save on the special effects budget.
Dude, this is a fantasy movie. Literally everything is made up.
There just happens to be a mystical cab that takes mystical people places. How do you turn a profit running this kind of business?
Why do you keep questioning the magic in this fantasy film? I mean, besides, these taxi drivers obviously aren't doing this for profit, genius.
What do you know about the prophecy?
Didn't you get the prophecy from the Oracle herself? What more information could they possibly have?
They could have figured out certain parts of it that Percy hasn't figured out yet. Or they could have heard things that other people figured out. Wow, that was an easy explanation.
I think we're in Olympus. Hail to you, great Zeus!
Look, the guy who just rattled this off...
The fleece is guarded by Polyphemus. Captured Odysseus? Lives in Circe land?
Is not mistaking Washington, D.C. for Olympus.
Except he just did. Why are you contradicting the events of the film when those events are literally happening right in front of you?
Extra shot of nectar.
You mean there are mystical creatures everywhere just hanging out, working at coffee shops? How did Grover know that this girl was one of them when she obviously didn't know that he was one of them?
For the millionth time in these videos, simply asking a question does not necessitate a sin. The fact that this question isn't answered in the movie clearly indicates that it's not important to the story of the film.
Saw Luke use this earlier, but it seems a terribly useful device that could transport them anywhere they want to go at any time. Later we find out they're sailing to the Sea of Monsters. Why not just transport there?
Maybe you can't teleport there because of some sort of magical preventative measure. How did you not think of that possibility?
You twist the cap off this, you release the winds from the four corners of the earth.
So they accidentally came to D.C., Grover just happens to get kidnapped while they're in D.C., even though they never planned to go there. Luke's dad is in D.C. at a UPS store, and he just happens to have some magic plot device in his warehouse. Awesome.
I agree that this is all a massive coincidence, but you already said all of this, so Jeremy double dips, cliché.
He reaches Chesapeake Beach, and they just happen to see Luke's yacht floating by in the distance.
Jeremy narrates what's happening on the screen without saying anything of value.
Poseidon know a hippocampus based in the D.C. area? Or did he make this thing magically appear? Because he could have made him magically appear closer, you know?
Nope, he clearly just knew a hippocampus in the area, which invalidates the whole point of this sin.
Coming?
Oh god, yes. Oh, you meant the journey. Forget what I said.
Jeremy still has a boner.
Oblivious demigod bad guys are oblivious to other demigods in their presence, and no one saw the luck dragon approaching their vessel a minute ago either.
Correct. How is that a sin? I mean, the hippocampus and people on it would be extremely small from the perspective of someone standing on a yacht, plus they were moving at a very high speed. It's really not crazy to think that nobody noticed them on their way here.
Right, the satyr. Well, he should be in the Sea of Monsters right about now. I sent him on ahead with some friends.
You sent him ahead with some friends? Ahead of what? Why aren't you going with them? Aren't you going there anyway? What is so important for you to be on the yacht right now?
The chest with the remains of Kronos? He's obviously staying back to help protect it.
Also, you couldn't get a private jet to fly closer to the Sea of Monsters, and instead you just sailed the entire way down there? You obviously have the means, so why didn't you do that?
Jesus Christ, this might be the dumbest sin in this entire video. The only type of plane that could possibly make that option work is a seaplane. Seaplanes are very small and would therefore not be able to fit the chest with the remains of Kronos inside. Do you get it yet?
It wasn't easy to find. I had to crawl through the depths of Tartarus itself, and then Cleveland.
That's hilarious. That explains so much. And it's amazing how American-centric these Greek gods continue to be in this series.
Yup, the Greek gods like America. You still haven't explained how or why that's a sin, so I can't accept it as one, but cool.
I should have used 2 hands.
Or you could call on your dad to throw it back, or use Percy's water powers to get it back, or call Aquaman since he's not busy.
Jeremy.
I prefer dead Confederate sailors whose lives have been given in tribute to Ares.
But zombies is fine.
Then why did all these other zombie dicks look up like Annabeth had just said the wrong thing?
Because it's not actually fine with them? This is an example of Jeremy taking something a character says at face value.
Instead of being able to read Greek, I can see map lines.
Something that was never brought up until now, but plot.
Yes, a power that he never had to use before now is being established now. That's kinda how it works, my guy.
30, 31, 75, 12.
Hey, those are the numbers the taxi lady said. That's fortunate.
And that's a sin because... Is Jeremy forgetting that magic exists in this universe yet again?
Yeah, she's dead. I mean, geez, she didn't break one bone or go unconscious or anything.
She flew a couple feet through the air and hit a rock. She's not gonna die or sustain serious injuries from that, even if she were just a normal human, which she's not. Cause let's not forget, she's half god, you actual dumbass.
I didn't know you guys had it in you.
Movie steals the villain gets there right after the item is acquired thing from Indiana Jones.
Alright, he's made so many pop culture references in this video that the sin has literally been reduced to one word and I can't reduce it anymore. From now until the end of the video, all pop culture references get 5 sins for their oversaturation in this video.
Speaking of Indiana Jones, here's a Raiders of the Lost Ark finale waiting to happen. Minus the roller coaster, this is the exact same thing.
And here's another 5.
Lord Kronos, he who was betrayed by his sons.
Does this really require a ceremony?
This is a demigod bringing a titan back to life, and you don't think there should be any kind of ceremony attached to it?
Get the fuck out of here.
Don't just stand there, dude. Keep swinging. Your sword obviously works, so what are you staring at Kronos for?
Percy is showing momentary shock at his sword working. I can't believe I have to explain this to you.
Grover is surely dead from this fall.
Grover is surely not dead from this fall because he's not a regular human. Jeremy is forgetting that this movie is a fantasy movie with supernatural creatures yet again.
Well, I think you should be the one who
Gets to do the honors.
Instead of just throwing the fleece on the tree immediately, they had to go back into camp, show everyone they had the fleece, and then figure out who was best suited to put the fleece on the tree. This asshole tree could have died in that time.
But it didn't, so this sin is pointless.
She grew as a tree all this time, but still grew into a teenager while petrified in the ground? Get the f*** out of here.
Magic. Fantasy movie.
Come on, help her.
The chick has a tree growing out of her. How in the world do you simply pull her out of the ground like this?
Magic. Fantasy movie. Wait, why am I getting deja vu?
Also, they left this crate out in the open? That's worse than giving it the parallax treatment.
Hey, that's another 5.
So why is it glowing? If Kronos had the ability to come back to life without the fleece all along, why didn't he just do that?
It's not glowing because Kronos has the ability to come back without the fleece. It's glowing because this movie is dog shit and struggling to find a way to end. I would expect someone who watches movies for a living to know this.
It's Jesus! Say hello, Jesus!